Greetings, this is Dr. Della Welch, and our lecture today is Lecture 5 on contracts. And today we will talk about the performance of a contract and the conditions. We'll learn about conditions precedent, conditions concurrent, and conditions subsequent. Now, there are express conditions that are created by the specific language in the contract, and they are express conditions which require strict compliance. For example, I heard of someone who purchased a house, and in that contract she indicated what the percentage rate should be and all of the other express conditions, and indicated that there must be a $300 home improvement type of insurance package, and that would be about a $300 item to inspect and make sure everything was fine on the property and to repair if anything was not. Well, it turned out when the other side saw the contract, they agreed with all the conditions, but they countered and said they didn't agree on the $300 home improvement insurance contract. Well, since that express condition was not provided, then that was a counteroffer that could be accepted or rejected. Also, all contracts contain an implied condition of good faith and to make reasonable efforts to comply, and an implied promise of cooperation. Now, in terms of conditions precedent, a condition must occur or the promisor is excused from his performance. If I were to say to you, I will pay you $500 if you graduate from your university with the B average. And suppose you're a freshman, so you're just starting college. So the condition precedent of you graduating with the B average has not occurred, and therefore I do not have to pay you today the $500. And there are also sometimes express conditions of satisfaction, which means, like in home improvement and home decorating, you have to actually be satisfied. That would be an express condition of satisfaction. So if you see the home decorating and a reasonable person would be satisfied, it doesn't matter, you have to be satisfied. And that must be in good faith. Now, there are conditions concurrent. Conditions concurrent are capable of simultaneous performance, and the tender of performance by one party requires tender of performance by the other party. For example, if I'm purchasing a home, they give me concurrently, they give me the deed and I give them the money. That means they're happening at the same time. There's also conditions subsequent, and this often happens on insurance contracts. So a condition subsequent is where a certain future event, such as a fire, may qualify for the performance of a duty by one or both of the parties. Usually that's related to insurance. So suppose that your house burns down with a fire and you have 30 days to notify the insurance company, or otherwise their duty would be discharged. Now, in terms of conditions concurrent, I have a little mnemonic or memory device that you can use to remember what satisfies the conditions concurrent. S is substantial performance. Did you get substantially what you bargained for? Suppose that you get a wonderful home built for you, but the builder puts on the wrong doorknobs. Well, there'll be an offset. You'll have to pay for the house with an offset for the value of the wrong doorknobs. That is substantial performance. That's a minor breach. A material breach is something major. The wrong plans were left on the job, and you didn't get your dream home, but you got a one-bedroom apartment. Well, that's a material breach. So the mnemonic you can remember is swamp violets. The S is substantial performance. The W is a waiver. If the rent is always due on the 1st, and the landlord keeps taking the rent every day on the 15th of each month, and he does that every month, well, then that's a waiver. He's got to bring it home to the tenant. He will no longer be accepting late rent. So that's important. And it can also be used as estoppel. If you tell someone, oh, don't worry about the writing requirement, and then later if they say they want a writing, then they may be estopped. And then A, under swamp violets, is anticipatory repudiation. That's where someone tells the other in advance that they're not going to perform. Suppose it's Christmas time and I go on your Christmas lot and I see no Christmas trees, and it's 2 days before Christmas, and you tell me unequivocally you're not going to perform. Well, I can sue you today, or I can wait till the performance is due Christmas Day and sue on that date. M is material breach, which I mentioned earlier. The wrong plans were left on the job, and it's a material breach or a major breach. P is prevention. That's where you ask a builder to build a fence for you, and you stand there with a gun and you say, if you get on my lot, I'm going to shoot you. Well, he has an excuse of the condition. You prevented him. V is voluntary disablement, which is by your act. It looks like you're not going to perform. If you've made no attempt to get Christmas trees on our Christmas tree contract, then you have voluntarily disabled yourself. I stands for impossibility. Suppose there's supposed to be a concert in a very famous arena and the arena burns down. Well, it's impossible to have the concert there. I is also impossibility. Suppose there's a famous singer and he gets a very, very bad cold. Well, we don't want to hear him sing like a squirrel, so that would be impossible for him to do the concert, and that will discharge the condition.